Hi, Neeraj. Thank you for joining in here. Thank you for joining with me on this discussion. Just to give you a background or a context, I do
Mm-hmm.
this conversation with different professionals
Mm-hmm.
in order to help and empower some of the young professionals so that they can
Mm-hmm.
have a better understanding of how corporate works, how life works in general, how leadership
Mm-hmm.
works, so that they can better handle their life. I wish I told in my previous meetings also that I wish I had a
Mm-hmm.
mentor-like figure in my life who could have guided me. I didn't. And sometimes when you're young, don't even want to listen to somebody. You feel like you know everything,
Mm-hmm.
and that's another issue that a lot of people have. Also, I had it initially, but I'm glad that you joined in. I know you have certain accomplishments. That the reason why you are here because there's certain growth you have in the corporate at a younger age, and I would like
Thanks a
to,
lot.
yeah, I would like the audience to know where you come from, what is your accomplishment, what have you done so far, and how are things
Mm-hmm.
working out for you?
Mm-hmm. So first of all, though, thanks a lot, for inviting me here. Definitely means a lot for me. And if I have to quickly introduce myself, I'm a software engineer and a content creator. And I have done my bachelor's in computer engineering. And currently, I'm working as a product engineer
Hmm.
at a product-based firm in Bangalore. So things are going quite good. And if I have to talk about my accomplishments, so I feel there's a lot to achieve, to be honest. But if I have to talk about some of the decent ones, it would be doing multiple internships at a very young age, and then running my own startup would be a good one. And then recently, I bagged the Rising Star Award from my firm, and so that was one of the things.
Hmm.
And probably the last would be, I've just stepped into the world of content creation, and I'm enjoying that part.
I know you're
So yeah,
doing
that's
some
that.
corporate, you're doing it on corporate growth itself, right? The content
Yeah, yeah,
Insta page, yeah,
yeah.
it's phenomenal. Well, good. I mean, at a young age, you have bagged a Rising Star Employee of the Month award couple of times, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, and then you also have pretty significant incomes also coming in from the corporates, which is pretty good. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have to share a little bit of thought process
Mm-hmm.
on if somebody is joining in new to the company or somebody is very early in their
Mm-hmm.
career, how should they
Mm-hmm.
plan themselves out so that what should they do? How should they plan themselves so that they can have
Mm-hmm.
good growth future down the
Mm-hmm.
line? What would you recommend there?
So basically, like a fresher joining a new firm.
Either a fresher or a year, 2 years
Mm-hmm.
experience. What would you recommend? Anybody new, young?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Got you. So I do remember my old days, when I joined the corporate and I was very naive. I was what I would say. I was scared about it because I wasn't sure if I'll be able to do it or not. But things worked out well, as you know. So if I have to, give advice to my younger self, I'll what I would say is try to understand the bigger picture or what your team is trying to achieve. Once because you cannot just even if you are in technical domain, you just can't do coding. You need to understand what the bigger picture is,
Mm-hmm.
and only then you'll be able to create an impact with your work. So that would be the number one point. The second point would be to build trust in your team. People should see you as a reliable resource. It shouldn't be like, you have a bad impression and, they are scared giving you tasks. So that would be the second point. And as early as you can acknowledge your, I would say pointers where you lack. It could be anything because we all know that everyone sucks at some point of time. So it could be presentation skills, it could be people skills, it could be technical skills. The earlier you identify it, you can start working on it so that in the longer run, you have a good blend of all the skills.
So the interesting thing you mentioned is acknowledging what you lack. And I think
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we don't want to acknowledge that because we feel that, oh, what will people think about me? But
Yeah,
on the contrary, people actually like honest people. And if you acknowledge that, okay,
exactly.
I need to improve, I think that's what you're
Yeah.
trying to say. That if you already acknowledge and you are having a path to improve that, I think it really significantly helps.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Exactly, because people are quite smart enough. Even if you brag about it, at the end, you are going to work with them.
Yeah, I remember having when I joined a technical, when I
Mm-hmm.
was working, I already
Mm-hmm.
had like 10, 15 years of experience in a certain
Mm-hmm.
technical field.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a young dude who comes who has a similar amount of experience, but in a couple of weeks, I figured out that he just graduated out of college. So there is no way he had that experience. So he had faked it. But people figure out, you're right. People figure out who you are and what to do. In a month's time, they will figure it out. So might as well be honest when you come in. Very nice. Also, when somebody joins in new to a company, especially when they are fresher or very young, they have tough time. They have certain different thought processes about how a project should be done or how certain tasks should be done. But they are a little bit or certain thought process about doing things differently, or maybe some good thoughts, or sometimes it's a little premature thoughts. But they are very timid in voicing their opinion. They feel that what will people think, right? And what do you think about that?
So I can understand that because I have gone through that phase. You are a little scared because you don't want to sound silly as well.
That's right.
Right. That's the, I would say, the major blockage, that we feel that, okay, we might sound silly, we might sound stupid, and that's the reason we don't ask questions. But if I think about it, let's say if a certain task is done by approach A, and if you feel that, it needs to be done by approach B, it would be a better thing. I would say have a candid conversation with your team or whoever is in your team, who knows about that task. And so now there are two routes. Like either you'll be right. If you are right, it will really boost your confidence, and you will feel good about you. And even if you are wrong, I don't see it as a problem, because you'll understand how to think about a challenge or how to think about a problem, the thought process behind it, and how to tackle it. Because there might be something that you haven't considered if you're thinking about the approach B. So you also understand, how to think about a problem. So I don't see any problem in both the routes. It's kind of a win-win situation. So definitely I would suggest, having a candid conversation with any of the team members.
Okay, very nice. Sometimes I feel that sometimes we give suggestions before understanding how the system works there. Also, so we feel that the system is wrong, but if we understand it, maybe it is right. There is a reason why.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And sometimes instead of giving suggestion, the other option is to asking open-ended questions which will help you understand whether your suggestion is good or not. Also, probably good.
Exactly.
Right? I remember that there is a certain rebellion mindset initially when you join the corporate. You feel that why is this company doing things like that? You want to change everything in the company, but there is a reason the company has existed for some time, and there's a reason there's a certain structure. So understanding that also helps sometimes, right? Anything else on that?
I think you pretty much covered it. You need to understand the system, you need to understand the modules that you're working on, because only then you will get a better clarity, and you'll be able to ask the right questions then.
Okay, very nice. I know technical world has grown significantly in today's world, and there's a lot of technology, and technology has really revolutionized our world. And this is an era of machine learning, data science, and a lot of other good technology. And technology is changed every 5 years. There's a new thing that is coming. But when I talk to some of the younger people, sometimes they come up with that I want to zone into technology. Technology is my passion, which very well might be because they want to create something, they want to work on something which they're passionate about. They see something which is formed in front of their eyes. But is that enough? Is that enough in the long run? Is it smart to box yourself into a specific technology or into only technical skills, so to speak? What do you feel about that?
So first of all, I do agree with you. The world where we are living in, technology is updating on a very rapid scale, and it's very important that we also keep updating ourselves. Obviously, we cannot keep updated day to day on the basis, but once in a while, it's always good to check what's trending, and what's the new thing in the market. So technologically, definitely yes, you need to be good at what you are doing. But I feel just with technology, you cannot really what I would say become successful. Because what I have seen, I have worked with some of my managers, I have seen that, they really have some really good people skills. the way they manage their team, the way they talk to people, you always feel that, okay, I want to work with this person. Right. Because whenever you work in a company, I'm pretty sure there are two types of people. The first type is you wanting them to work with them. The second type is you are like, nahi, I don't want to work with them. Right. So the reason behind the first category people is because they have some really good people skills. And I would actually say it's the most, I would say, underrated thing. No, not a lot of people talk about it. We just focus on technical things, and somehow you lose that thing in the process. Right. And then obviously in the long run it's going to bother you. It's you cannot hide from it. So that would be the first thing. Second thing would be that, so as I mentioned earlier, that we stay in a world where things are rapidly changing, upgrading. So it also depends how comfortably and how quickly we are adapting to new things. We need to unlearn and relearn a lot of things, a lot of approaches, a lot of methodologies. So I feel, probably a combination of these two skills, can really help you. And I'm telling it from my experience. You have way more experience than me. So definitely I would love to hear it from you as well. What do you think on it? But yeah, as per my experience, these are the two main points I would say.
And these are excellent points. It is definitely underrated, the people skills part. But I have 15, almost close to 20 years of experience in corporate. What I've seen in these 20 years is that I started with technology called C++. Nobody thinks about it nowadays. So every 3-4 years, technology changes. Today, data science and machine learning are a course. Business analytics is a course in colleges. It was not even a thought when I started. Right? Forget about course. It was not even a thought. Right? Because world was different. There was not so much of data that time. So technology will change, but what doesn't change is working with people. Right? No matter where you are, you will always be working with somebody. You'll always need leadership skills. You'll always need communication skills. And majority of the projects that we see that fail is not because of lack of technical skills, but because of lack of communication skills or a lack of leadership in that project. That's why CEOs are paid, not because of technical skills, because of their leadership skills. The VPs and the directors, they're not really technically very savvy, but they are very good on leading a project. Right? So leadership is definitely underrated, and that is something which the earlier you start, because you don't become leader overnight, right? It's a constant struggle to do that. So
it's a long process.
It's a long process, and there is always different leadership skill required for different amount of people. Like if you're leading a group of 10 people in a project, the leadership skill is different versus leading a group of 50. It's a whole different leadership. So it's not that you ever become a leader. You are always in the process of leadership, right? So that's what my take on it is. But I think you shared it very well. Anything else you would like to share? Any random thought, anything that you would like to share which would help somebody young in life?
I think pretty much you covered it all. One of the other things that comes to my mind is a lot of people, when they enter corporate, they kind of, it's a good feeling, you start making money. But somewhere down the line, you sort of get complacent, where I speak to a lot of my friends. I myself am surprised when they say that, I'm very bored to study for my new job. That's why I'm sticking to this company.
So they're bored to study for a new job.
Because because I'm very, I'm already doing all the tasks of this particular company. So they sort of get complacent. I see people getting complacent. So at least for first 6-7 years, I don't think you can afford to. I know my experience is just of 3.5 years, but seeing a lot of people, I feel that at least for the first 6-7 years, you cannot afford to be complacent. Obviously, after that as well, but this I would say will form your basis for the rest of your life, because you are in 20s, you are very active, you have high energy levels. So why not make the most out of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Ambition is an attitude, right? It's not. So it's if somebody is complacent, I think what they're saying is they're not that ambitious.
Exactly.
Awesome. Very good. Thank you so much. I mean, this was a fantastic conversation,
Yeah.
short and sweet, and some great points come out of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Arun, for calling me to this call. Definitely means a lot for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank